I mean, oftentimes I find myself with all these artworks that I've created. I'm like, wait, how did I get this many? It's like, I just desire to be in that process, to be creating. And I find a real beauty in taking something, bringing color and form and texture to it and giving it a whole different image that then to me is beautiful.
Greetings and welcome, everyone. This is Breaking Bread, the podcast brought to you by Apostolic Christian Counseling and Family Services. I'm very glad to air the second part of the conversation that I had with Isaac Funk and Shauna Streitmatter on God's intention for beauty.
Beauty we experience in the midst of a fallen, broken, material world. And that's sometimes why, I would say that is partially why we can even acknowledge that there is beauty, is because we see everything else. It's like beauty stands in the face of brokenness and in the face of darkness and in the face of death and says that doesn't have the final word. Most beautifully seen in the story of Easter, right? And
Jesus.
That's right. You have, there was nothing good about Good Friday.
Yes, it had
Until-
all the earmarkings of ugly.
Yeah, and it would have been forgotten to history, right? And even the Romans thought it was disgusting, right? But then they get to you get to Sunday morning, you get to Easter, and suddenly Friday was Good Friday, and it was a beautiful Friday. It is through the lens of Easter, of what comes next, that there's nothing more beautiful than a crucified Lord.
Isaac, you just expanded now items that we are going to call beauty, okay? Before that comment, we've kind of narrowed our focus to things that we see, things that we taste, things that we hear in those senses. But you just expanded beauty to be conceptual, beauty to be narrative, a narrative.
Oh, fully, yeah.
Right? I just want to put my finger on that to expand our view here of things that are beauty. Narratives are beauty. And what narratives are the most beautiful? You mentioned Christ. His life coming forth from death, and then all that it does. Right?
Right. At the risen Christ, Easter morning, at that beautiful sight, evil knows that beauty is coming for it. And so evil does everything in its power to undermine beauty in the world and in each of us, right? Because we are made not only to create beauty, but to become beauty, to become like Christ.
Okay, so now since that was a surprising witness of where beauty exists, I'm going to ask both of you, where have you seen beauty that most people miss it? Or said another way, where have you seen beauty that surprised you?
So I'll say that there is a temptation when asked, where do you see beauty, to go to those grand things, to the sunsets, to the mountains, to the rivers, the waterfalls, these grand vistas or whatever. Yeah. But I do think it's so important and useful to understand that we can find beauty in the small things, the lesser known things, which Jesus himself was brilliant at, right? We see him doing that in the scriptures. He saw
a poor widow casting in 2 mites.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Nobody else saw
Nobody
that.
else saw it.
But then Jesus took that and he framed that up for his disciples. He's like, come over here, look at this. I'm going to tell you what's happening here. And he made it beautiful.
So that's it. If we got good at this, seeing beauty where it exists, I think it would change our life for the better.
One of the places we need to learn to see beauty the most is in the broken places. And it's in the broken parts of ourselves, the broken parts of our story, our broken relationships, in our failures. I think that when we can look at those in light of what's coming, in light of what Jesus has done, is doing in us, around us, that those things then become beautiful. They become the Good Fridays to the Easter that's coming. I can look at somebody who I love very much and see their struggle and see their pain and their disability, and I can look at them in light of the day that's coming where they are made new, and I can look at them and to see the ways that God is breaking through in their hearts in ways that they never would have experienced had they not experienced the brokenness, the darkness of the life that we're walking in. And I can look at those stories now, I can look at those relationships, I can look at those people and see beauty, something that says death is not the end. It doesn't have the final word, but beauty will.
Isaac, that makes sense to me because God is making all things beautiful in His time. Because that's really what you're saying there. There is a beauty in the process. So I'm going to look at my artist now. Shauna, tell me a little bit about the artistic process. Is it all about the end game for you? Like, is that it? Or is the process as much a part of the artist's delight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, oftentimes I find myself with all these artworks that I've created. I'm like, wait, how did I get this many? It's like, I just desire to be in that process, to be creating. And I find a real beauty in taking something, generally a white piece of paper, and bringing color and form and texture to it and giving it a whole different image that then to me is beautiful. To use the skills that I've been given and the tools that I have in front of me and to create something new and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not an artist, but I would have to think that actually doing the painting is what they love, not just the end result. Am I right about that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's something really cool about being able to watch that beauty come forth and to watch the transformation that happens. Yeah.
Have you ever worked on a project and it's just not like you're not getting it? It's not there.
Oh, yes.
It hasn't.
Many times.
I don't know. Maybe you have words for this. It doesn't.
It's just not right. I don't know. Yeah.
It's not looking at you right. Mm-hmm. And then you break through. I don't know. What is that? What is that like?
I think that breakthrough can come from spending more time with the artwork or spending time away from it and then coming back and rediscovering what you've done.
Do you ever find that you were going in one direction and find yourself in another place?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's really fascinating, the creative process, right? And how beauty comes about. It's not linear necessarily. Right. It can be kind of a windy road, right? Yep. And just, I don't know. It just kind of thrills me to hear that experience, Shauna, and against Isaac, what you're saying, you see beauty in your own life and in the lives of the people you love, is God is in a creative process with that person, bringing them to a beautiful end in time. And sometimes we think we know where we're going and we find ourselves at a different place, right?
Yeah, it is important to realize, I think, that beauty isn't instantaneous. You don't sit down to create something and poof, it's there, it's done, and it's beautiful. There's time that goes into that. The other thing it makes me think about is beauty without being released for others seems incomplete. Like, it's almost like something becomes beautiful through the act of people. This is going back to what I was saying earlier. It's like it's almost the result of what is created.
What it does in people.
Yeah, is what part of what makes it beautiful. And so it's like, is beauty incomplete until it's given to others?
Well, let's take a novel, for example. A beautifully written novel. If it's never read, who beholds the beauty and what effect does it have, right?
Right.
Is that your point?
Yeah, like a beautiful novel is not beautiful closed up on a shelf. It's beautiful when it's opened up and the story is engaged in.
I like that. Sean, I'm coming back to you on this. Where do you find beauty?
Yeah.
Where people often miss it.
Yeah. I think a lot of times I find it in nature, whether that's sunbeams across the wall in my apartment or a rainy day. Rainy days to me are very beautiful, just the whole process the day's going through. I think also of people. I find a lot of beauty in people. I was at the Brooklyn Tabernacle last year, and they were doing like a new members ceremony, and so all these people went to the front and were saying where they were from, like the countries they were from. And the amount of countries that were represented in that group was beautiful to me and like an image of heaven almost. So I also think of Isaac and his love for coffee. He finds beauty in a cup of coffee every morning. Like, there's just so many small places that you can find beauty in. I mean, I think some people find beauty in a nicely mowed lawn.
There's beauty in the face of a child. There's beauty in the laugh of a friend, in the arms of a mother.
The smile of every human being is beautiful. Isn't it amazing? There's something so incredible about it.
And this is how God relates, like the blessing of may God turn his face towards you. Like, may God look right at you. Yeah. Like there's, in the same way a child, an infant, when you pick up your infant in your arms who's just like gazing at you, looking for the one that's like looking for it.
Yeah. I've actually read some commentaries who believe that may the Lord lift his countenance upon you. That phrase is an idiom for smiling. May the Lord smile upon you. And there's such a beautiful thing about thinking about God smiling, because we do that to beauty, don't we? Whatever it is, we smile either facially or inwardly. Mm-hmm. We smile. Now, you had brought up, Isaac, that we worship, and worship is beauty. I would like, here as we kind of bring this to a close here, how can we employ beauty in our worship of God? Now that we've put it on top of mind in our heads, like, you know what? God's about beauty. And this is now a way for me to live and to honor him. What does that look like in practice?
I think that to start with, using beauty as worship, you have to be intentional in recognizing beauty all around you. I think of a few weeks ago, my young group was singing on our local college campus, just out in public. And it's a place that gets a lot of foot traffic, and so there was a lot of people walking by, and most of them just walk right past us, maybe smile or something. But I noticed one man, he stopped and was just standing watching us. And so I went over and I invited him, and I was like, hey, do you want to join us? And he was like, sure. And as I was talking to him, he said something that really stuck out to me. He said, it was so beautiful, I just had to stop. And I thought about all the other people that had walked past and may have even recognized the beauty for a second, but didn't take time to actually stop and to linger in that. And how many times in my day-to-day do I miss those opportunities, whether it's on the car ride to work, there's something beautiful out the window that I could stop and linger on, or maybe after dinner you go outside instead of just sitting inside in front of the TV, like purposefully putting yourself in the way of beauty.
And then there is a connection we need to make between God and that place, God and that thing. Am I right about that? Coach us on this, Isaac.
Yeah, well, something that I said in the past is always connecting the gift to the giver. And I think that therein is worship, when you can connect a gift to the giver. So if God creates something, if God gives you something that is beautiful, then recognizing that it comes from the ultimate beauty draws us into worship, right? Now, there is a temptation just to stop and to worship the thing that is beautiful that you're beholding.
Yes.
There is a temptation there.
Yeah.
And yet we have to go the next step after that, and to say the giver of that is so far beyond even the beauty that I'm holding. This is but a sliver of the glory that is contained in God.
One of the things that I would like to accomplish by this episode is that we would see beauty as something that God is using to connect with us, to provide vision for us, to love on us with. And I think both of you have helped color in this space so that we could see why he's doing that and how he's doing that, and that we could go forward from this place having our eye and our ear and our taste and our minds attuned to where beauty is present, and it's present all around. And as you said there, Isaac, connect the gift and the giver. And when we do that, we worship God, don't we? And what a gift that would be to build that into our discipline. Right?
Right.
Into how I operate as a human being. That's really what you're suggesting.
Right. Yeah. Because beauty is easy to miss, and that's one of the things about beauty too, is how it doesn't demand attention. It just stands in it, but it welcomes. It's just like whoever would like to see can come and see. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't demand a price.
Yeah.
It's easy to miss. Mm-hmm. We have to train in it. And there are people who can help us to do that, like artists or people like Shauna who have been trained to spot it, to know what it looks like. So other people help us in that endeavor. And then, treating it as a discipline, just building it into your life, and just allow yourself to just do that as a discipline. I don't know, once, twice, 3 times a week. I think over time, you would absolutely see that to have an effect on you as a person, the person that you are, and your ability to recognize beauty in a multitude of other areas of life, and thereby become a person who worships Christ all day long.
Thanks, Isaac. Thanks, Shauna.
It was a real pleasure to be a part of this conversation.
The intro music was Johann Sebastian Bach. I'm really learning to like Bach. I haven't always liked Bach. Take him or leave him would have been my attitude 2 years ago. But I thought, my wife really likes Bach. I should probably like Bach. If I don't like Bach, kind of shame on me.
Surely there's something there.
Surely there's something there. A devout man of God dedicated his music to Christ in the 18th century, has long stood the test of time as being pleasing to the ear. And I have spent a lot of time listening to Bach. And by lingering in him, I have acquired the taste for Bach. And I think that's the hope that we have. I'm not artistic, or I don't see things that way, or I don't care much for this or that. Linger in it long enough, and it will grow a space in you for that appreciation and beauty. Now, let Bach's Suite Number 3, Movement 2, bless you as this episode draws to a close.